Hello, Crystal Sultrin.
Hi.
I'm Erica Garcia, and I read your script about Drops on the Windshield, and I was very interested in asking you a few questions about your script.
Okay.
All right, so my first question is I realized that you had a character named Little Girl.
Mhm.
I was wondering if you could tell me a little more about this character.
Okay. Well, throughout the script, there's the teenage girl
Mm-hmm.
and there's the little girl. They're both the same person
Oh, I
at
see.
different times. The little
see.
girl is the teenage girl in the past.
I see.
So
Okay.
it's kind of like having a flashback. It's of one story.
One story. So these two characters, the teenager and little girl, are one person?
But
Wow.
the character, the little girl, whenever you see the character and the little girl, where she leaves off and where she picks up back in the script, it's like she's here and then she's there and then she's there. But it's all one story.
I
So
see.
she tells like this part of the story, and then it goes into the teenager, and then when it goes to the little girl again, when she looks back, she's continuing the first story that she was telling.
Wow, that's pretty interesting because when I read the script, I got the point that it was like two different people. Okay. My next question is about little girl's mother. You mentioned something about her mother saying to her that men don't like scars on their women. I was wondering if you could give me like background information about little girl's mother. Why did she suggest for her to be more careful?
The little girl's mother really just wants her to be like the perfect little girl. She wants her, she wants her to be pretty,
Right.
all that stuff like that. It's not really so much about the mother as what it is about the little girl. The little girl herself is very impressionable, and when people tell her stuff, she tries to listen. She's supposed to listen. So it's like the mother telling her this, so she's trying to listen to that, and then it's her friend telling her this, so she's trying to listen to that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of showing that the little girl is really like whatever people say she does.
Right. A mother always wants what's best for her kids, so that makes sense. Did the little girl have a father growing up?
Yeah,
She did.
but he wasn't really he wasn't the one that was like pressuring but like just kind of go with the flow.
Okay.
Kind of dad. He wasn't really.
Okay. Now, I know you said that little girl and the teenager are the same people, but does that include Sydney?
Yeah.
It
It's the
does
same
include
Sydney the whole time. Yeah.
Okay, because my next question was how old were they, but now I should just say how old is she because it's one person.
The story with the little girl in the classroom, like third grade, third or second grade,
Okay.
and the teenager is more like sophomore to junior year in high school.
Okay. All right. So, understanding that the two girls are very different from one another, how do you put together this whole friendship that they have? They're best friends.
It started when they were younger.
Uh-huh.
As they were younger, they were friends and they liked the same things. And then as they got older, they kind of just went in different directions.
Right.
That happens.
Usually that happens.
Yeah.
I know from personal
Yeah.
experiences. High school, I mean, it's typically what happens. All right. So, it seems like little girl's parents were more restricting of her. And it makes sense because you said, her mother wanted her to be this perfect little girl and everything. But it comes to my mind to wonder what were Sydney's parents like? Why did they allow her to go to a party and little girl's mother just wouldn't let her?
Okay, it's not actually, that part's actually not in the script.
Okay.
But Sydney was the only child,
Uh-huh.
and her parents were really, really lenient. They
I
let
see.
her get away with everything.
Right,
She got whatever
right.
she wanted.
Right.
So whenever she would ask for something, it would happen, and just
I see.
she got away with a lot more than she should have growing
Right,
up. So
right.
that's kind of how she fell into a bad pattern.
I see. Okay. So I see how Sydney can come off daring. I mean, you just said, she'll do whatever she wants, and her parents didn't have a problem with it. But I don't know if I should ask you, do you think, or did she go to that party with intentions, like specific intentions?
I don't know, but I don't think so. I
Okay.
think that she went there looking to fit in and looking to be
Right.
cool. And
Right.
that's just kind of the pattern that it took. I don't think she went there saying, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to meet these people, and I'm going to hang out with these boys. It spiraled, you know?
Right. I see what you mean. So, with that being said, I assume that she did not know about safe sex before she went to that party.
I don't think she was thinking about it.
No.
Like, that wasn't the intentions. It wasn't. Like,
right. Okay. So, what was Sydney like before she changed? I mean, you mentioned change in the script, and you mentioned it like she completely changed, but I come to wonder, what was she like before that?
She was always a little bit daring.
Okay.
But it was more restricted, and there were times when, you know, we would look at the other people and be like, wow, we're never going to be like that. Like, seeing other friends and older kids in the school, like, wow, we're not going to do that, wow, we're not going to do that. And that's what it was when, for me, it was like the change. Like, we went from saying that we would never do that to her being like the image of that.
Right.
So I say it as changing because she did change and I was still the same. Well, the little girl was still the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I know that the little girl is you.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, in the beginning, little girl, she seemed upset when she could not attend the party. But towards the end, she says that it was better off that she didn't. Why does she make that statement?
Just because the little girl is really impressionable. I think that it could have been possible just to get, you know, like, do it, and then eventually go ahead and do whatever it was. I think it was better because she was so persuadable that it could have happened. They could have been the same two girls down the same bad road.
Right.
So I think it was better.
Right.
More of a protector.
Yeah, it seemed like she kind of changed herself, like, at one part of the script, because Sydney was telling her, like, you know, you need to be cool, you need to change, like, if you don't change, then we can't be friends. But I don't feel like she did that. I feel like she accepted that Sydney said, oh, well, we can't be friends anymore, and, you know, she really went with that, and that was pretty, like, interesting about it, because, like, any other teenager, I feel, would have, like, tried or made an effort to please their friend in order to continue being friends with them. But that's pretty cool. I like that. My last question is, why did little girl feel bad when she refused to help Sydney when she called her for help?
I think it goes back to the fact that they grew up together. And, you know, as much as you want to help somebody after, you spent years and years, went to the same school and stuff like that, just because you know what they are and you know how sometimes how nice they can be, and it just felt bad to walk away from something that is all that you knew. To turn your back on someone that was your best friend, it makes it hard to, okay, I'm not going to help you because me being away from you means, like, I kind of have to start over.
Right.
If were my best friend since, little, maybe like second grade, third grade, and then going into high school, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm actually not going to be your friend anymore. And then having to find a new identity. Is
going back to square one.
Is what was scary. It wasn't so much as not wanting to help Sydney because, like, oh, she deserved it. That wasn't the case. It was just, I didn't want to be in that bad place that she was in, and just going back to having to start myself over.
Right. That's understandable. Now, I said that would be my last question, but it made me think about another question. I was wondering, while reading your script, you had certain things in italic. Did that mean something? Were you trying to, have the reader understand something about a specific word or something you said specifically, like when you say something in italic?
It was just more so for, like, the person, honestly, it was for me to kind of give me the cue during the script of when to emphasize those words.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
It was just kind of a reminder, but yeah, that's what
all right. So to close up this interview, is there anything that I missed about your script? Is there anything you would like to mention about it? Something that I didn't already ask?
You want me to talk about the drops in the windshield, where that title came from?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I was curious about
that. Okay, the drops, basically the whole, like, analogy behind the drops on the windshield is, like, obviously you drive. You know how, like, when you're in a car and it's raining, but it's not raining enough.
Right.
It's not raining enough where you don't really want to turn the windshield wipers on because it's not raining that much.
I do that all the time.
And then eventually, like, it just gets to the point where you have to, because then you can't see anymore. So like the whole kind of the story is like when you're driving and the drops are getting on the windshield, little by like the individual drop itself isn't like a bad thing. You know, one drop isn't going to block your whole view, but little by little they add on, and you don't really realize that, okay, now I really need to use the windshield wiper until it's already too late that you can't see anymore.
Right.
So that's kind of where my story is from, where the idea, the analogy came from. It's where she's the little girl, and her whole life basically is just the one story in the classroom where, you know, Sydney convinces her to do little things, little bad things, little by little. They're like the drops. You don't really, okay, it's just one thing, it's just one thing, it's just one thing. And by the time they're all there, it's too late.
Right.
And you need to use the windshield wiper because you need to clear everything away.
I see.
So that's what that.
Wow. That is pretty interesting. That really is. When I read the script, I didn't think of it that way. I thought of it like, you know, whatever, the drops start building up on your windshield and then eventually you have to clear it. But I didn't see it that way. I saw it like you would be like blinded at one point, and then at some point you're forced to clear it all, and it's much more difficult. But now I see where you're coming from, and it's definitely opened up my mind to that. So so I guess that covers everything. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Oh no.